Did you start a print-on-demand business, got super excited, did a ton of research, uploaded a bunch of product types, made some really cool designs, and then once you put them out there, it's just crickets? This is a super common story with so many new sellers. So in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down some of the biggest reasons that people are not buying your items. A lot of times, the solution for how to actually get your products to be seen and purchased by people is a lot simpler than we want to make it, but there are some things that you might be currently doing that are really hurting your chances of actually growing and building a sustainable print-on-demand business that's making you real income every single month. Now, I've been doing this print-on-demand thing for quite a few years, and I've been able to build it into a full-time business. So there are so many things that I have learned along the way and things that I've seen that immediately I know that is why people are not visiting this person's store. That's why they're not making any sales. And if they just switch that one thing, they would have such an easier time actually growing this business. So let's not waste any more time and just jump right into the list of why people are not clicking on and buying your items. Now, the number one reason that I see people not making sales is something that you might be tired of hearing, but it is genuinely the truth. If you are selling in niches that are just way too saturated, you just will not make sales. You truly can have the best designs in the world. You can have really good SEO, amazing titles and descriptions that are just to the T, tailored to what you are selling. But if you are competing with thousands of other sellers in that exact same niche, you're just really not going to have success because maybe you didn't come to the niche soon enough, or you're just getting buried under hundreds of other listings that are also selling well. Now, I know that's easier said than done. You're like, if I knew what niches to find, I wouldn't be having this issue. But a lot of times I see new sellers just still trying to sell items that are the things that they are seeing on those first pages of Etsy. So they're like, oh, I see that nursing designs or teacher designs or like cat mom and dog mom designs, those are selling really well. Those people are making thousands of dollars every single day selling those items. I'm going to make some and it's going to be an instant hit. I'm going to make so much profit. But those people have taken a long time to get where they are, or they've been selling in those niches for years. So what you need to do is you have to figure out how you really can compete in a lot less saturated niches. Now, there's still a ton of room in the print-on-demand market for people. You just have to get a little bit more creative in what types of niches you are going to go after. Now, I actually do have a free resource for you guys, which is my cross-niching guide. That is a workshop that walks you through one of my favorite niche research methods to find niches that have a lot less competition. And you're going to get a free guidebook with over 40,000 different evergreen niches that you can sell in with a ton less competition. So I'm going to link all the information to sign up for that free class. But if anything, this is just going to kind of teach you the difference between what is a way too saturated niche and what's something you actually could stand to rank in the first or second pages on Etsy or Amazon and actually start making sales. It's really tricky to figure this out in the beginning, but once it kind of clicks, you're going to know which niches to stay away from and which could be really good ones to pursue. Now, that doesn't mean that every single thing will sell all the time. In fact, probably a lot of your items are never going to actually end up getting bought, but that is going to help you find niches that are really going to carry your business and make the income for the majority of the other products. Now, the next reason, along with picking way too saturated niches, that people are not buying your items is sometimes because you are picking product types that either just don't work with the niche you're selling in, or products that again are just way too saturated. So for example, if you wanted to sell like pet themed print-on-demand items, that could be a very profitable niche. So say you wanted to make things for a golden doodle owner, but if you put them on a t-shirt, that just might still have way too much competition, but there is still money to be made in that particular niche. You just might want to think outside of the box and try a different product type. So the manufacturing partner that I use to sell print-on-demand items on Etsy is Printify. You probably have heard of them before. They're one of the biggest print-on-demand manufacturers, which just means that they're kind of the middleman between you and actually getting items to customers when they purchase on Etsy. So they're taking care of everything from like printing, packing, shipping, storing those items, while you're just making the design and uploading those listings. I'll have all their information linked down below. If you've never made an account with them, they're totally free to use. But a lot of times what I recommend to people that maybe have a good niche, but they're just trying to compete in really generic, saturated products like t-shirts, is to look through Printify's catalog and pinpoint other items that there might be some more opportunity for them to stand out in. So if you really wanted to run with that kind of golden doodle niche that I talked about, maybe instead of a t-shirt, you try something like a scented candle that is themed for a golden doodle owner with a really cute phrase and graphic on it. Or you try like a very popular handled straw cup with a golden doodle design on it, or something like golden doodle pajama pants. So all of those types of items are things that Printify would have, and you could experiment with trying something a little bit new. So when there might be thousands and thousands of other golden doodle t-shirts, the pool for golden doodle pajama pants might be as little as like a few hundred other sellers. So you really have a good chance to kind of rank in those top searches if someone is looking for a more specific product than just a t-shirt or a sweatshirt. Now, that doesn't mean you need to stay away completely from t-shirts and sweatshirts, but just if you are trying to target niches that maybe have a lot more competition, instead of scrapping it completely, sometimes you can just pivot and try a different product type. And again, I just recommend going on Printify, looking through their whole catalog. They have over 800 different product types. Sometimes there's things on there that I'm like, I did not even realize you could sell this as a print on demand item. So I always like to just kind of refresh myself and see if there's any new opportunities where, especially if there's a new product type kind of coming onto the scene, I can be one of the first ones to target some of those biggest niches on there. So like, for example, back when the pandemic was going on and masks were first introduced and people really started purchasing those and buying them, even though selling like a cat mom t-shirt was still way too saturated in 2020, people that were some of the first to get cat designs on masks, when people were buying those, made so much profit because they were one of the first to a huge niche, to a new product type. So that's why it's always a good idea to just kind of be looking and seeing what new products are out there that can definitely help you get seen. Now, the third biggest reason that so many new sellers are not making sales is one that is typically a very, very easy fix, but it is so detrimental to your business if you are doing this wrong. And that is not having good mock-ups. Now, if you watch on my other videos, this is something that I talk about all the time, but it truly is one of the most important things aside from picking a good niche. Typically, when people are shopping on a place like Etsy or Amazon, they're doing a general search like cute Valentine's Day teacher gift, and then they are just going to start scrolling through the first few pages of results on Etsy or Amazon. And if you think about it, when you go shopping, are you looking at the picture of the items, or are you reading every single title and description every single time you look through pages and pages of listings? For me personally, I am just looking at the photo. If it doesn't catch my eye, I'm just scrolling right on past. And that is the exact same with almost every single shopper out there. So we have a very, very small piece of real estate to make a huge impact with our print on demand listings. So we want to make sure we are making the best use of those mockups possible. So one huge mistake that I see a lot of new sellers making is they are partnered with someplace like Printify, and Printify, they're going to provide you with some free mockups that are auto-generated, and they typically do a good job showing the item. They're serviceable to use, but they're generally nothing special. And there's thousands of other people also using Printify, so that mockup is getting shown on tons of other items. So just a really simple switch that you can do is make your own mockups on a place like Placeit. So Placeit is the mockup and design subscription that I've pretty much had since the first month of business when I started print on demand. And what I really like about them is they work on a subscription basis. So you pay one small price every single month, and then you have access to their entire catalog of thousands and thousands of different mockups, as well as a bunch of other print on demand tools as well. But the reason that I got them so early on in my business is because I was not like super well versed in how to make kind of mockups on my own on a place like Photoshop or Illustrator. That just was too time consuming for me, and I wanted just a simple solution where I could simply upload my design and it would auto format it to me on a bunch of mockups. And Placeit does a really, really good job of that. And they have so many different product types and really good mockups that look like real people are actually using these items. So one of the biggest mistakes is that you can make with your mockups is making it look like a mockup. Like this is just a computer generated kind of version of what you're selling. But if you can start getting into more lifestyle mockups where it's a real person looking like they're wearing a real shirt with a design that is formatted to kind of the curvature of the item, that is where the money is. So there are different kinds of mock-ups. You have flat lays with just kind of the product you're selling, so maybe just like a t-shirt on a flat surface, or you have more lifestyle mock-ups with real models in them. And I, in the last few years, have gravitated to really only using mock-ups with models in them because those get clicked on so much more, and those I find convert sales really, really well for me. Now, typically what I do is I don't like to have the model's face in them. I just want to really show off the item because, again, we have such a small piece of real estate. I want to make sure people can see the design and read what's on it. So usually I kind of crop it around chin length to like belly button, make sure I get the full product in there. And there can definitely be stuff around in the background, but you don't want it to be too distracting. But if you just been using like the free auto-generated mockups on Printify, and then all you do is just get a subscription to a place like Placeit and switch out your mockups, I guarantee that is going to help with the traffic you're getting, the amount of views and clicks, just by making that one simple change. So that is probably one of the best investments you can make in a subscription early on, because typically it's going to be less than $10 a month. So if you make like 1 or 2 additional sales because of that subscription, it's paid for itself, and that's going to help you really scale and grow your business. So I'll actually link all of Placeit's information down below. If you do want to try them out, they have both free accounts as well as the paid one, which is typically what I recommend. But if you just want to see what they're all about, you could sign up for either of those options. Now, a few of these other reasons why people might not be buying your items are things that you might not have ever really thought to think about, because they're not just like the regular, print on demand things where you're saying, okay, you got to target niches that are not super saturated, you have to make better designs. But the next reason people might not be buying your item could be because you actually have some misspellings on your shirt. Now, when I share this reason, I am actually speaking from personal experience. I was able to pinpoint a niche that I knew should do really, really well, and I actually ended up making some sales with a design that I created, but I realized a little bit too late that that design I had uploaded did have a misspelling in it. So even with the misspelling, I knew it was a good niche because people were buying it. But if I had just taken a little bit of extra time and double checked my design and saw there was a misspelling, I could have made a better version of that, and that probably would have gotten way more sales and really, really taken off like I thought it would. So if you have a niche that is really well researched, it's just not doing well, make sure that everything in your design, spelling wise, and just the general look of it is not off or is not wrong. Now, especially if maybe English is not your first language and you're selling primarily in an English speaking marketplace, see if you can have someone maybe double check the designs you're making, or just yourself, make sure you do an extra once over to make sure that everything is spelled well and looks right, because you're either not going to get any sales on items that are spelled wrong, or if you do make sales, there's a way higher possibility that you're going to get a return request, which is no fun to kind of eat that cost. So just do your extra due diligence and double check all of the spellings on your items to make sure that you're spelling things right. And the same thing goes for writing your titles and descriptions. So a lot of times Etsy and Amazon is going to be pretty good at figuring out what you are getting at if you misspell something in your title or your description, but sometimes that can be detrimental if you're missing out on the specific keywords that you want people to search to find your items and you just spelled it completely wrong. That could kind of make your item be ranked lower than it should be. So just make sure you're double checking everything for spelling. It does matter a little bit more than you think it might. Now, the next thing that I see a lot of new sellers doing that definitely is impacting both their visibility and people actually clicking on and buying their items is having the wrong color design and text on the wrong color of shirt. Typically in print on demand, dark colored shirts look best with a very light colored text, and dark colored text looks good on a light colored shirt. But sometimes I see new sellers doing really funky combinations like a light pink font on a bright yellow shirt. And so it might look okay when you're designing it, but when you actually put that on a thumbnail and it looks about this big when you're scrolling past, chances are that the buyer might not even be able to differentiate the two colors and really read what it says. We want our designs to really stand out and pop a lot more even than they would if we were selling in a physical store. When you're in a physical store, you can really see the nuances of items, you can see the detail, but when you are shopping online, you have to be a lot more exaggerative. So your designs have to be bolder. Text typically has to be a little bit bigger for it to end up selling well. So just make sure you are using really high contrast when it comes to the color of shirt that you're picking with the color color font. So when in doubt, amazing combinations are going to be black or navy shirts with white text, or like a white or a light pink shirt with black text on it. Those are always going to be really readable, so people know what they're actually looking at. They're not going to just scroll right on past, which is what they might be doing to your listing. Now, along with that, another huge reason that I see new sellers not getting any views and inevitably not getting sales is because they are just making designs that are way too small. Now, I totally understand the appeal of this. I personally love in my own life to wear stuff that is maybe a little bit more understated or has a very like small graphic on it, maybe just right around here. But in print on demand, typically the items that are going to sell the best and the most are going to be especially apparel items that have text and graphics that pretty much fill up the entire print area. So this might not be something that you personally would wear, but the bigger and bolder that it is, the easier it's going to be for people to see what's on it and actually want to buy this. So if you've been making designs that are just really small up here or just a little graphic, think about how you can interpret those to really take up the full canvas that you have. You have a lot of space to work with, and you a lot of times want to be using almost every inch of that surface. I promise you it's going to really help with you actually getting clicks and views if you make this change. Now, it doesn't mean you always have to make this kind of design. There is a time and place for making stuff that's a little bit too small, but if you're mostly just making really dainty, small graphics for your shirts or sweatshirts, maybe try switching to making more bold graphics that are really readable, because again, remember, we're designing for a very small piece of real estate. So the easier we can make it for the buyer to see what's on it, to click on it and purchase, the better our results are going to be. Now, along with these, there's a ton of other mistakes that new sellers are making every single day that are really hurting their visibility and them making sales. So I highly recommend watching this video next that's going to break down some of the biggest mistakes new sellers make. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.